So, welcome back to the Soccer Ladder with Lee and me. Today, we've got someone who lives and breathes local football, the voice behind the Exchange FC. Welcome to the Soccer Ladder. As you can see, I'm missing my other half today, which I'm very sad about. So, he's in school. I had a little mix up on his schedule, but anyhow, you and I are just gonna like talk shop. I know you like dive into local, the local landscape. So we're gonna get into Red Bulls too, Red Bulls, the Academy, MLS, youth soccer. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I think just the youth soccer conversation might be like a whole nother episode.
What's your honest assessment of youth soccer in the US?
And there are a lot of kids who won't get looked at because they don't have the funds to get in front of the proper people. And there are some, little segues and things that teams are trying to do to help the situation. But the truth of the matter is, it's something that is so deep in that it's going to be so hard to break. But again, if you're in the mix and you can afford for your kid to play in a real program and get a better chance, to get looked at or whatever the situation may be, whether it's go to college, whether it's try to get to the next level, if you can afford it, you don't see it. But there are people that will never get that same chance to get those eyes looked at unless they pay. It's such a crazy, like, mafia type thing.
So Liam started, okay, so he started what, 3, 4 years old, started like right next door at Soccer Stars. So of course we paid for it.
Soccer stars is like a big thing.
So yeah, I mean, starts there young. Then he went somewhere and played a couple years. Then he went to Medoval. From Medoval, he went to Red Bulls. So he went RDS pre-academy. Now he's in the academy. I don't know. I don't know any better. This is just my journey.
Yeah. And I think that's it, right?
Yeah, no. So I feel like you would have more insight on, do they call that pay to play?
Yeah, so that is but that's not even on a club level like that. Even in little towns, I live in a town in Jersey, where the fee is a fee, and my child's only 5. We're still sorting out if she likes to play soccer. Does she like gymnastics? Does she like? We're still in that stage where we don't even know what she likes yet. So for us to make an investment like that is to me a little crazy. But there are smaller programs, which we had one at her school called like Soccer Shots or something, where they come to her school and they take her out of class and they teach her basics of the game. So she got it. Like, so she got how to kick the ball. They put little scenarios of being a good teammate, little things like that. But they're not really into teaching the basics, fundamentals of the game. Where you had your son in his first, they probably taught him how to kick. They probably taught him, what you're looking for. And as the game changed, and he was going to different academies, the game also started to become more like you watch on TV, where there's more tactic, there's more thought, there's more of thought, a process of what happens before you have the ball. Like, you start teaching them at a younger age, you got to start to see the game differently, you know?
I guess so. The whole basis is if you don't have the money, you're basically not going to be in that higher.
Yes, but then there's also another side of that, where I've run into many parents of kids that are on these teams who are great footballers that aren't paid.
At some point, I think it was this year, maybe even last year, because this is his second year on the academy. I don't think we pay now. I'm sure leading up to it, we did, but at some point, you don't pay anymore. So, my question is, so your daughter is 5, right?
Yeah.
So Liam only did soccer. And my mom and like all my family members were like, he needs to try every sport and see what he likes. But Liam only wanted to do soccer. But my question is, so if she's trying a bunch of things, do you pay for like gymnastics or whatever sport you're in?
We pay for everything.
So then how is like soccer different? If
Different?
like, yeah.
Because throughout the world, this game is been by the people. In the poorest places in the world, they put together a bunch of paper and make it a ball, and they're playing with no shoes on a dirt pitch with no lines, but the concept's all the same. And there are kids who are genuinely great with no equipment, no real ball, no real field. That if you put them in a position where there is a real field, there is a real ball, there is real training, there is real schooling, it could be a game changer to the game, especially here in the States, where you have every ethnicity under the sun here in the United States. So you have people who have brought the game here. It's just you're you're taking away something because you're putting a price on it um, that are taking some people out of the equation right off the bat.
Yeah, yeah.
I went to Milan. We did a press conference with AC Milan, and I asked a question because they were talking about how big AC Milan was in the United States. It was such a big club. There are going to be so many people coming to this game. So my last question to close the press conference was, if it's such a big club in the United States, and Zlatan is on the board, and he's already spoken out about pay to play and how much he had to pay for his two kids when he was in LA. What are your plans for that situation? And they kind of like danced around the question. Didn't really answer it because I don't think there's an answer. Because the truth of the matter is, like, the lights have to stay on, the coaches have to get paid. There's things that have to, like, it's just not going to come from donations. I get that part. It's just I think there has to be another form of what we're seeing in inner cities and lower levels where people might not have the funds. That's it.
If you could change the system today, like, what would you do? Like, how would you do like, what would you do?
What you would have to do, what I think could work, is a lower level of these higher standards that you're putting up. So, say the Red Bull Academy, maybe they have something that's a little lower in a local park where kids can go and then eventually get to that. So, if you if your kid is playing in the mix in one of these lower levels, just basic, little inner city programs, whether it could be a basketball court in like the cities like Manhattan or in other areas, like I live in Bloomfield, there's a big park with a bunch of space where the Red Bull come or NYCFC come and they put together these trainings every week that are free. And it could work for them because they can then see this talent a lot younger. And then once this model of pay comes in, they could maybe be grandfathered in because they've already put this kind of work in earlier.
It's crazy. I mean, I know this is like a hot topic, and I love seeing the US, grow in soccer. I love it. I'm just like a soccer mom on the journey. So I do hope, people figure it out.
That's it. Let's hope. We'll see.
First, let's talk about you. For anyone new to Exchange FC, how would you describe what you cover and why NYC, New Jersey soccer is such a big part of your platform?
I'll start with the second question first. I think New York, New Jersey is obviously where this thing starts because this is where it started for us. Me, Mo, and Roger are all like Red Bull, NYC. Roger's a big Cosmos guy who are coming back, by the way. And New Jersey is so rich in tradition of football. We've pumped out so many great footballers. It's just both teams have the New York City, right? One is really in New York, and one is here in Jersey, but they use the New York um, which is so. But for us, um, we love all the guys on the local teams. I think we've come to the conclusion that we're more married to the guys that are on the pitch, not really the crest in the name. So like Mitch Ilinek, we love like Parker, guys like on another level. If they went to another team, we would be rooting for them on another team you know. But I think rooting local is so important. That's why NYC and the Red Bull is huge because all these people who work in these stadiums, play on the team, are all local guys. They're from your community.
One of the first people I met when I started working with the Red Bulls a couple years ago was John Tolkien. And he
Okay.
literally is the nicest, coolest guy. He was so awesome with Liam. And I'm just so happy to see his success. I feel that way about so many of the guys, like Edelman. We love Edelman. I hope he goes
Yeah.
on and does like amazing things yet. He's still so young.
Yeah. Like I always tell people, like they're all local guys. Like Kevin O'Toole's a local guy. Hack is a local guy. Like, these guys are all guys that are from here. They went through the academy and now they're on the team in your town. Like when I see Matt Freeze as the goalie for USA, I'm like, dude, this is the great. I tell him, like, dude, to have a local guy as the keeper for USA is the greatest thing ever, bro. And I tell him all the time. I tell him all the time when I see him, I'm like, dude, you have no idea how great this is in the grand scheme of things for the game.
He's literally one of my favorite players in MLS right now. I love watching him. I was just so impressed by like his story, and then he's at NYCFC, like you said, here he is playing for our national like
You know what's funny? We went to the World Cup poster unveiling, And I introduced him to somebody. I'm like, "This is the next USA goalie." And he was like, "Oh, come on, man, come on." I'm like, "Dude, I'm telling you." And I told the guy, I'm like, "Dude, he's the next guy." And every time I see him, I tell him, like, and I would ask him. I was one of the first people to ask him, like, "Have they called you? Have you had conversations?" And he didn't up to that point. And then all of a sudden, this year, All Star, this, that, great for him. And he's a guy of God too, by the way. He's like a guy of God. Like he's like a super like Christian guy, humble guy. Like he's the man.
I feel that vibe with, like, Christian Pulisic too, like, and you
Yeah.
feel it with Matt. Like, I don't know, I love him, he's one of my favorite players. So let's talk about Red Bulls too.
Okay. Champions.
Did you see that coming?
I didn't, and I didn't because shame on me. I don't really follow them. I follow a couple guys that make the jump up and down, but for the most part, there are many pages and many guys that I'm in the room with that are up in the mix. I got onto it when everybody else got onto it. I ran the hype train all the way to the end, which is great to see, man. You know, that's it's amazing. It's just the part that scares me is are these guys so good that they get sold before they even can make an impact on the first team? Or do they make an impact on the first team for a little bit, then they get sold? It's like the MLS way.
Julian Hall signed so young, and then I feel like, he moved up, but he doesn't get a lot of playing time. Like, do you want that either, you know?
On NYCFC, you have Johnny Shore, right? Similar situation, very young, but he's playing a lot. Johnny Shore's playing a lot. Julian Hall gets put into games, and he's made a lot of good, goals, and he's been in the right place at the right time. He plays really hard when he's on there. He still has a lot of growing to do, I think, like physically. I think once he grows physically, oh, this kid is going to be phenomenal. And by then, it would be like nothing because he's already done this as a kid. So being in, it's like sharing the simplest things is like sharing a locker room with men that could be your dad's age. Um, that's like the first thing. You're going into a place with a bunch of grown men. You're a boy still. There has to be a part of that by that time, it's already easy. And then you could help the next group of people that come up and have to do the same, hopefully.
Yeah, Julian Hall is a superstar. So I do hope he sees his minutes and his time, and I'm guessing we'll lose him eventually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, I know.
That's what we hope for them, you know?
Yeah, exactly. For all, not for all. I'd like some guys to stick around. Like I would have loved to still have like JMI stick around like his entire way. Like I would have loved that. But it is what it is.
Same, selfishly the same. That was a tough one, but I'm so happy for him. Speaking of that, what do you think like makes Red Bulls so unique? I always feel like it's like the Red Bull system or the Red Bull way. I guess for better or worse.
That's like such a German mentality. But they're all the same from the top. But that's a great thing because the structure is built, and this is the way we do things everywhere. There's no questions asked, all the way from the best Red Bull all the way down to the bottom Red Bull. So that's there's no questions asked. This is the way that things are done. All of our medias ran this way. All of our practices are ran this way. There's no questions asked. You know what you're getting into when you're going to one of these teams, which I think is a great thing.
I guess if a kid is like moving up the ladder, like he's familiar like with where he's going
Yeah.
and what he has to do. We had on a Belgium coach, I don't know, a couple months ago. We were talking about Red Bull's MLS, and he's like, "Well, isn't the entire system, the same way?" So I think it's well known, about their system. What player or team has surprised you the most this MLS season?
Vancouver, I can't believe is there right now. NYCFC surprised me. I thought that job was going to be a dumpster fire for Pascal, but I don't even know. He did great. He did fantastic. And then always for me is Columbus, but just because they weren't in the mix towards the end when I expected them to be. I expected a lot more from Columbus.
Yeah, I agree. I went to the MLS Cup. It was Columbus versus LAFC. And that year they were like they were fire. They're always impressive to me, but yeah, to fall off the mix, I was shocked by that. I don't know why. I'm a big LAFC fan. I love some of the players there. I was kind of surprised who knocked them out, Vancouver, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you see NYC, New York City, and New Jersey soccer evolving with the World Cup coming?
So I am old enough to remember the first World Cup being here. I remember going to a lot of games with my parents. It was truly something crazy. Um, and I'll never forget it. But from that, we got the MLS. I tell people all the time that I um, remember the hangover that came after, which was the MLS, and this is what we got. What we got from that, and I'm so excited to see what comes.
What are your thoughts on MLS, like the growth over the years?
So I've seen it all. I'd like to say from the beginning, I absolutely love it. It's ours. A lot of people knock it throughout the world, but the truth of the matter is, like, it's our soccer, and I'm very, very excited for what's next. Granted, it was Messi that came to do it, but it's been here. We've had legends walk through those doors to play on different clubs since the beginning, and it's only going to change. What will really change this thing is if they let the owners spend real money, like they no cap, because then we could bring guys that aren't retiring and aren't at the end.
I love the MLS. I love where it's going. I love the growth. Obviously, Liam plays for Red Bulls Academy. I mean, his goal one day is to play in the MLS. So, World Cup prediction.
I would love to say USA. I would love to say USA. But like I tell people, with USA, it's the same with every tournament. They're either not going to make the group and you're not surprised, or they either win the World Cup and you're not surprised. So like
Who are your favorite players?
on USA,
Yeah.
Pulisic, Matt Freeze. I love Diego Luna.
Yeah, I do too. Yes.
I love Tim Ream. Tyler Adams is amazing.
Liam's favorite player.
Yeah, and you know what? They're all class acts. Like if you see them on the street, they're all amazing men. That's the best part.
Okay, so we're running out of time. We're going to go to rapid fire.
Okay, let's do it.
Your favorite jersey in your collection?
I actually brought them for you. I have a Walker Zimmerman. This is a match worn.
Oh, I love it.
A Duncan Hip Hop match worn, and a Diego Luna. This was actually his. These were given to me by the players, but this one was supposed to be the game worn, and then he got a red card, and then Fernando, the OG kit man, he got the real jersey, and then I got the secondary.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a good story. Most underrated New York City, New Jersey soccer player right now.
Do we want to do Reina maybe? I mean, he's a local guy. What we say. Yeah, I would say either him or like him or Tolkien are two guys that I think locally are like it. But we'll see. We'll see.
Red Bulls or NYCFC, who has the brighter next 5 years?
NYCFC.
Dream guest for the Exchange FC.
It would have to be a Messi or a Ronaldo.
Okay, so Messi or Ronaldo, like who's your favorite?
Ronaldo forever.
One Academy player, this might be hard, I guess, for you. One Academy player to watch in 2026.
Aiden Stokes.
Ah, I love him.
And I think because what's happening with Carlos not coming back, everybody's going to move up a little bit. So the games that he shows up are going to be the ones that are going to be very important for what happens to him next. That's my pick.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's one of my favorites. Most meaningful interview you've ever done.
So my favorite player growing up was Carlos Valderrama, big yellow hair, Colombian. My family's Colombian. It's the only sport and the only athlete that I ever remember in my entire life that I watched with like my mom, my dad together, like as a family, other family members coming over. And when I see him, I get like this flashback of when things were great. Like my parents were together. We owned this house where people were always there. We were always watching them. So when I see him, I get like not emotional, but I kind of do. Um, but he was like the one interview for me that there was like a lot of emotion behind. And now like when we see each other, like he knows me, and it's just crazy to me because he's like my favorite ever, and like he means so much. And this time I told him like, dude, like you mean so much to me, you have no idea. Like when I see you, like I think of like amazing times in my life. So that's to me is like a big thing.
Love it. One word to describe the New York City, New Jersey soccer community.
As a fan or as a player?
Let's do as a fan.
Okay, as a fan, amazing on both sides. You know, they travel well, both teams travel well. Last year they went out to West Coast to see their team in the final. Last week I saw them traveling down to Philly. They traveled down to Miami. So like I love that. You go to games and you know, for NYC it's tougher because you have to go to two different places, Queens and the Bronx, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like you don't know where you're going at the beginning of the season and but still they follow. So like it's a home run. It's such a home run.
I was gonna say emotional. I feel, but I'm guessing all like soccer like fans are with the team they love, right? Thank you for coming on with us.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I love following you. I love seeing you out at events. I love what you do. And I love all your insights. This was fun.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. I was waiting. Next time we got to get little guy on with us.
Yes, yes, we'll do this again because we got so much more to talk about.
I'm with it.
You have a good one.